eighth inning implosion on Saturday. They win this series over the Phillies with a 9-1 win today. They've won 14 out of 17. The offense continues to be good. The pitching continues to be really good. Do you have any more analysis on top of that from what was just kind of another routine series win?
Yeah, let's just check back with this team in October. Honestly, I you know what kind of gets me mad is that like this stuff gets in the way of me watching the NBA right now. I do kind of want to watch Wembayama. I mean, seriously, why are we watching this? These teams are terrible, right? They're gonna just keep. It's a whole schedule of one terrible team after another.
Decent test,
and they aced it, which they were supposed to
for the most part. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think the pitching. That's the thing that's really resonated with me during this, is that coming into the season, we looked at like the lineup and all the big names they had there, adding Kyle Tucker. This felt like a team that was going to be driven by its offense. But right now, even with Blake Snell hurt and Tyler Glasnow hurt and moving pieces in the bullpen, the pitching really continues to impress, especially this weekend with Roki Sasaki, who, you know, I pulled it up here, Dylan. I was trying to encapsulate the ups and downs of Roki's season to this point, and I thought the best way we could do it is by reading just some of the headlines on columns you've written for Roki this year. We have March 24th, Roki Sasaki is broken, and it won't be an easy fix. March 31st, Roki Sasaki's season debut, not a disaster, but not good either. April 5th, Roki Sasaki has lost his best pitch and maybe his identity. April 26th, Roki Sasaki has abandoned his search for his old self. And then May 4th, the Dodgers should send Roki Sasaki to the minors. I think you must have inspired him, because since then, he's had a really good May. 5 starts, like a 3.18 ERA. The walks are down, the strikeouts are up, but most importantly, in the start on Saturday, he hit 100 miles an hour with his fastball again. Which is, I think you referred to it as like before, even when the results were getting better. It's kind of like smoke and mirrors. Yep. That looked like the real Roki Sasaki, probably for the first time we've seen as a big league start.
Yeah, and that's what he said himself, right? After the start, he said, you know, today was the game where I was able to pitch most like me. And I think that that's much different, you know, because, you know, we talk about kind of, right, even with Wroblewski, we've talked about sustainability. You know, kind of if you do the smoke and mirrors stuff and you kind of don't have kind of that top shelf stuff, it's kind of hard to, you know, right, it's hard to sustain that. Whereas like this, you can kind of see like, okay, well, if he's throwing that hard, he's going to have a shot. And we had a couple of key at-bats yesterday where, you know what, he gets put into, you know, he goes into 3-ball counts. And it's just like, you know what, I'm just going to reach back and just like let it rip. And he kind of looked, you know, the thing is, look, the velocity was there. I'm not sure the command is quite where it was when, you know, earlier in his career in Japan. But it was kind of, it looked like him, you know, as a reliever last year in October, right? And that was plenty effective, you know. So I think it's kind of this is like a promising thing. I think, you know, the other thing too that he mentioned was the fact that, you know, for him that the velocity and command he feels go hand in hand, right? It's not, okay, well, I'm going to throw harder, so I'm going to lose command. And that's kind of what Dave Roberts actually kind of implied right before the game. He said, well, I think there's 100 in there, but that if he goes to that 100, he won't know where the ball's going. Sasaki says, well, if my delivery is smooth enough to generate a 100 mile an hour fastball, it also means that I'm going to be able to locate it better because, again, the form is better. So, you know, we'll see kind of where it goes. I mean, the fact that it's just there, right? Even if the next 3, he doesn't hit 100 again, this tells you, okay, well, it doesn't mean that there's something physically wrong with him, which I think was kind of the big concern.
The thing that stood out to me about this outing in terms of the larger context of the season is from the beginning of the year, we were asking this question, right? Should he be in the majors? Is this the right thing for his development? Are the Dodgers making a mistake by throwing him out there when clearly he was working through some fundamental things with his mechanics and his delivery and his feel? The bet that the Dodgers were making was that A, pitching at this level, even when he was grinding through stuff, was going to be best for him. That if they sent him down to the minor leagues, his stuff is just too good, even when it's not at its best. His raw stuff is too dominant that he's not going to be able to improve against that caliber of hitter. I think the other thing, speculating, that went into that decision is that they wanted him to have to struggle up here, right? Like clearly there were things that when he came over, the team felt like he was going to need to either change or tweak or improve or add. Starting with this new slider he's throwing, with the new splitter he's throwing to go along with the forkball, the way he attacks guys. And I think that there was probably a theory that the best way for him to learn that is to have to deal with some failure at the big league level. The risk in all this is that you were going to lose him mentally, is that the struggles were going to become too much, you were going to kill his confidence. And the fact that over the last month, he's been able to kind of figure out this new pitch mix with the new slider and splitter, get his command to be so much better, even as he's been making starts, right? They haven't had to like shut him down for a month or 2 months and reset everything. Like he's been able to improve that part of it, which was the biggest concern coming into the season. And then to have him find the velocity the other night, I think kind of validates, at least to this point, what the Dodgers' plan was with him and betting on him to be able to handle the challenges of pitching up here, not let it become too much and grow from it. And then the credits to him for actually doing that, because that's really difficult, right? And you know, if you listen back to his quotes over the year from at the beginning of the season saying whatever, he had almost no confidence in where his stuff was at, to not feeling like himself, and for him to make the improvements he has while still making regular starts speaks to his talent, speaks to the mental resiliency, and I think suddenly really changes the perspective that you have on his season. Because before it's like, okay, is he just going to have to keep surviving with suboptimal stuff, with suboptimal fastball velocity, with inconsistent mechanics, to where now it's like, okay, if he can keep taking the kind of steps he's done over the last month, then imagine where he might be in another month or two or by the end of the season. If he can turn starts like that into, or do them more consistently, then suddenly, you know, on top of all the other good pitchers the Dodgers have, you might start to have the guy that they thought that they were getting when he came over from Japan.
I think what's kind of important too is, and you know, this is probably something you and I have to dig into a little bit more. You know, Dave Roberts made multiple mentions to the work he's put in the weight room, right? Travis Smith, the trainer, Sasaki himself kind of made multiple references, while not providing very many specifics, about his physical conditioning, right? And so you do, you know, because like last year, honestly, he looked like a high school kid, right? I mean, in terms of like his body. These guys are professional athletes. Like you go in there,
so skinny,
right?
It was like jarring,
right? Again, you know, it's like, look, like it's not like he's like emaciated, right, compared to like an average person. It's just that.
But he's not around average
right,
people.
that's the thing, right? Yeah, these are
to Shohei Ohtani.
Correct. These are professional athletes. Like everybody's like ripped in there, right? And this is also not in that era of baseball where you would just have like morbidly obese guys like playing like in the corner infield, right? So, yeah, it really stood out last year. And the fact then that he's kind of putting in that kind of work to take care of the physical stuff, you know, I do kind of wonder how much that has kind of played a role in it.
We'll make this the lost in translation part, because what was interesting is, at least in the interpreted answers last night, he said he didn't really change anything to get the velocity to pick back up, that even he was a little bit surprised. And the Japanese portion, did he shed any more light on anything he did? Because, like, again, he was like 96, 97, and even as he was better over the previous couple weeks, to like throwing 99 and then hitting 100 right out of the gate the other night.
Yeah, so the way he's kind of described this process is, starting in the off season, he was kind of on a course, and look, there are little mistakes, little things that he's kind of gradually adjusted, and that basically he's just kind of every week he makes the little adjustments here and there, and so it's just kind of building on what he's done previously. So the changes that kind of happened over like a long course of time. And he kind of feels like everything just kind of came together, as opposed to him doing something kind of radical that changed him overnight.
You know that he's really turned a corner, because, do you know, you can go to CaliforniaPost.com and read Dylan's column from last night, which was Roki Sasaki rediscovers fastball, and possibly himself. I don't know. Are you buying this? Like, how do you think we're going to see more of that, or is that an aberration?
Yeah, I think we're going to see more of that. And then it's now, though, we're talking about degrees of it, right? And again, I think that he's still kind of a far ways from being a guy that is going to be able to kind of spot the fastball where he wants. You know, I do still kind of wonder, right, the slider thing. I don't love that. I'm not in love with that slider.
That was also good last night.
I kind of, in terms of in the total sum of things, I do wonder how it affects like the splitter, forkball stuff that he throws. But yeah, I think again, like we do see though, right? This does kind of go back to the point that I tried to make earlier. He's at his best when he pitches off his fastball.
All right. Anything else from the series to touch on before we get to wrapping up the whole month? Justin Wroblewski's fastball velocity was
up. Yeah,
that was notable. I think both those guys, because like in a different way, Wroblewski was doing his own smoke and mirrors act.
Yeah,
and then to see him in the same way, fastball picks up, he can attack in the zone more. Both of them were able to get swings and misses in the zone more. Which when you can do that, like Dave Roberts said, then you're pitching at a different level. Then you're like a legitimate starter on a championship team, not just like someone who's good enough to make starts in the big leagues. So.
Yeah, and Yamamoto threw harder today, right? So we saw kind of the difference there where, it was men on second and third in the fifth inning, Schwarber coming up, strikes him out with the fastball, and then it was Trey Turner, gets him with the fastball. So again, when you have
strikeouts today,
velocity's good.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Well, it's good until you get hurt. It's kind of the bigger picture problem with baseball. But no, right now it's working for the Dodgers, who, again, 5.5 game lead in the division now, their biggest of the season. And I mean, this was a good series win for them. I know this kind of lacked much.
No, it was
narrative, but yeah. And honestly, I think part of it is I know the Phillies lineup isn't great and they've had a weird year. But they still have those guys at the top with Schwarber and Harper and Turner. And when you see them, it does force you to elevate your game a little bit, I think. And probably might have helped play into all that, too.
Oh, you know what was cool this weekend? I got to catch up with Donnie Baseball.
Oh, yeah.
And right, this is very interesting because
Don interim manager.
Yeah, he was the bench coach, becomes the manager. The general manager of the team is his son Preston, a former Dodgers first round pick. So I was kind of asking them. I guess
I didn't realize that part.
Yeah.
When Donnie was the manager here?
No, before that.
Okay.
Like he was, so he's kind of around.
No nepotism.
He's around the Clayton Kershaw era, somewhere in there. But I think they were A-ball teammates. But yeah, so I asked Preston, do you Farhan your dad? Do you just show up and hand him his lineup card? But
to which he said,
he was. I mean, obviously they were just kind of laughing. So it's like, yeah, well, that's why I try not to spend that much time with them because I don't want him to be upset with me. But as usual, both of those guys, I think, are. While they're kind of great competitors, when I see Don Mattingly, I always think about this huge brawl that they had with the Diamondbacks here. I mean, like half the players got suspended. First guy that came charging out of that Dodgers dugout, Don Mattingly. What a man. He threw Alan Tramm on the ground like he was a rag doll, And I think that's the thing about Mattingly is that really nice guy, right? Very just kind of understanding, treats everybody very well. I remember there was one year my dad was over at spring training and wound up talking to him. And my dad never mentioned that he was my dad or anything.
Oh, really?
Don Mattingly just stopped and just had a full-on conversation. Just had a full-on conversation with him, right? And I think
your dad maybe strategically left out his relation to you. Right. It's like, I want to talk to this guy first before I.
But that said, Don Mattingly's a bad dude, right? I mean, there were times when we were going to go into Yasiel Puig's story time.
Oh boy.
When he
should have known.
He tried to fight Puig. He wanted to fight Puig.
Don?
Yeah, there was a bit of a miscommunication where, I think.
Oh, that's a surprise to hear.
And I think Puig got kicked out of a game or something. And when Mattingly comes back to the office, Puig's sitting in his chair. And that
feet up on the desk.
Well, it was, I think, because there were other people in there. And so Puig kind of had to sit in there. So when Mattingly comes in, he just thought that Puig was trying to show him up. And, I think the story that I heard was that Mattingly ripped off his jersey and wanted to fight him. So yeah, don't mess with Donnie Baseball, man.
Who do you think would have won that fight?
You like the heart of Mattingly.
Would have been a good long shot bet.
Right. Yeah.
Give me a little plus 500 action, and then we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think Donnie could have taken a punch.
That's true. It wasn't going to be a TKO by decision. All right. Last month we did monthly awards I thought it went well. So we're going to do it again.
Okay.
I need a player of the month, a pitcher of the month, a disappointment of the month, and then we're going to get to our favorite personal interactions of the month. You want to start with a player?
God, when did the month start?
May 1st.
Well, yeah. No, I'm just, where in the schedule did it start? I don't remember this.
Okay, well, I'll start while you think. Shohei Ohtani, who...
You're going player?
Yeah, but
okay.
This one... It's going to be kind of an all-encompassing. You can pick Ohtani as pitcher
because I was going to go with him as pitcher of the month.
But as a player, I got like his stats here. He went. Where did we go? 289 average, 892 OPS. He still only had 4 home runs, but like after the first month of this podcast, we just talked about can Ohtani be a two-way player, and the fact that we aren't asking that question now, or aren't asking what the toll of it is that's taking on him, or what the potential costs of it are. Like if he can have more months like this, in which he was still really good, probably not as good as a hitter as we've seen, but obviously dominant on the mound, it simplifies everything, right? Like they've gotten into a little bit of a rhythm now where he's starting on a weekly basis. He seems to be kind of finding that balance physically with his workload, getting some days off as a pitcher, out of the lineup, back in a better place with his swing. And then you see what happens, right? Like even when he's just like 80% of maximum Shohei Ohtani, it is a completely different lineup. It's a completely different team. And it takes so much of the burden and pressure off of everybody else, because I still think like honestly, when I was looking at who to pick for this month, what stood out is, for as good as the Dodgers have been, it's not like there's somebody who hit 350 or hit 10 home runs. Like everyone's just kind of been good. But everybody can just kind of be good when Ohtani's doing his thing. He's the guy that makes this whole team click. And to be able to for a prolonged period now to show that, okay, we've got the two-way thing a little bit more figured out, I think is really important.
Okay, so he's my pitcher of the month. My player of the month, I'm going to go with Andy Pages. I don't know the specific numbers. What I do like is the fact that number 2 spot has seemed to just be like a stat killer, right? I mean, whoever's in that 2 spot does not hit usually. And the fact that he's been able to go there and hit, and obviously he's been great defensively, I'm going to go with Andy Pages.
266 average. He did have 8 home runs this month.
All right.
879 OPS, and well on his way to an all-star game, I would say, after just missing out on it last year.
Yeah. Oh, and then the at-bat against Mason Miller in San Diego.
That was a good one.
Where he just glared at the guy.
I mean, I think you're seeing... I think it is... It was interesting. I was sitting there watching him today and kind of wondering, like, okay, he's gotten to this level now. Like, what is even the next level beyond this? Because it does feel like, even for as good as he's been, like he's hitting 290 on the year with a 900 OPS and the most RBIs in the majors. It's like, boy, if this almost kind of feels like his baseline at this point. Like, it's hard to see him really going into an extended slump with just the swing decisions and the consistency of his mechanics and the way he's been able to move up the order and still be good. So I'm curious to see kind of how the rest of his season goes. And even if
because I'm kind of on the opposite on this, because I think so much of him.
Oh, you're gonna pick him as your player of the month and then start selling.
Well, I just think so much. I just think so much of what he does is about like kind of the emotional intensity that he brings. And so again, what I'm curious, and I'm not saying necessarily that he's going to crash and burn here, but I am curious how he holds up over the course of a 6-month season, plus like another month in the postseason.
My pitcher, I'm going to go with 2 pitchers of the month.
What is this?
Well, they go hand
Make
in
a
hand.
decision.
It's Kyle Hurt.
Don't you want
And
to?
it's Will Klein. Because outside of Ohtani, I was looking at kind of who has kind of most changed their like place in this year's team. And these 2 guys, you know, when Edwin Diaz goes down, it's not just that the Dodgers lost their closer, but they also lost like their best right-handed option. Like Blake Trinan's been kind of up and down, and you just kind of got left with like, well, who are they going to turn to and like high leverage spots against right-handed runs of the order?
Diaz's rooster, who evidently shares the same characteristics as him. He's a
winner.
finisher.
Yeah.
Do we need to touch on that at all?
Have we talked about that?
I don't know.
Well, I don't think anything's going to come of that. So,
what I did find interesting though is as we were talking, so the Japanese reporters were asking me, right? So, for those of you who somehow missed this, it came out that Edwin Diaz had participated in
allegedly,
and
there are some local laws in Puerto Rico that. This is
part of a bigger, this is part of a larger discussion about Puerto Rican sovereignty and all that. And honestly, people in this country hunt, right? I don't think we're in any position to be like, they're cruel to animals or whatever, So I'm not passing any judgment here. But what was interesting though is the Japanese reporters were asking me about cockfighting, right? And how prevalent this stuff is. And what they brought up though is that in Japan, in some parts of Japan, there is bullfighting. Not man against bull, bull against bull, where they lock horns. So this evidently is popular in Okinawa. And these are 1-ton bulls, by the way. This is very impressive.
I know. You've been showing me the YouTube videos.
Yeah, so you look this up on YouTube if you're interested. And tickets are pretty cheap. You can get in for $15.
Go to Japan. That's your tourist attraction.
And by the way, they do not fight to the death, in case you're wondering. Because they once one bull turns its back to the other bull, it's over.
It's very respectful.
Yes.
Very Japanese, I'd say.
Yeah. The bulls are very calm, by the way. When they win and their handlers jump into the ring to celebrate, the bull will let their owner ride him and stuff. It does make me think that a bull from a well-fed bull from a third world country would destroy those bulls. I don't like bulls from countries with 99% literacy rates.
Bulls have awareness of,
I don't know. It's really calm. It's really, these are really calm bulls. It's weird.
I don't know how to segue back into Kyle Hurd and Will Klein, other than to say they've been good. They have not been turning their back on anybody.
No, they're bulls. They are bulls.
They both only gave up 1 run this month. They both got their first career saves. They are not pitchers of the month, bulls of the month.
Bulls of the month.
Congrats to them. Disappointment.
Edwin Diaz? I don't know. No, I don't want. No, I don't want. Well, just because of the that he got caught up in. He did. Yeah, no, I know. I'm not going to do that. Disappointment of the month.
I'm going with Kyle Tucker. And even though it was another fine month, I guess.
Yeah, you'd expect to have him get out of it. Yeah, you'd expect him to get out of it.
And that was the disappointing part, is that there were a couple weeks there, seemed like he was turning a corner. He had a good series in Milwaukee, and then he comes here, and he was 1 for 16 up until today, where he had 2 hits. He took batting practice on the field for the first time. And even in those weeks where he looked, or at least his numbers were better, even Dave Roberts said, this is nowhere close to him being locked in. And the swing decisions are still a little out of whack for what they expected from him. Again, it's not really hurting the team, but this is a guy they're paying $60 million this year for a reason. And to be 2 months into the season now, and to have him hitting still 240 with a low 700s OPS, and even the little moments where he's been good, he hasn't been able to maintain that momentum or build off it, which I think is why today will be interesting to see, right? Because clearly he reached the point.
Didn't I get fooled 3 days ago? He had a couple hits, and I was
in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and I'm
Ohtani and Tucker are fixed. The Dodgers are going to run away with the division.
Yeah.
Which the first 2 of the 3 parts of that statement were true, but yeah, it's just been kind of underwhelming. And to get to this point of the year, you're just kind of wondering, when is he going to turn it on, and what does it mean if he doesn't?
I'm going to go with me. Okay. I've had a rough month. This team has been winning too much. This does not fit with what I do. I feel, my friends in the business have always told me that I was born to cover the Mets for the New York Post.
You would have.
So what I suggest is that before the trade deadline, send me to the New York Post in exchange for Mike Puma and 3 writers to be named later.
Not even, you don't.
Well, I think I'm younger, so I think I have more value because I'm younger than Mike.
Yeah.
So, Mike Puma and 3 reporters to be named later.
The Dodgers are too good. Big disappointment to me to not be able to rip anybody. Yeah, we were talking with Andrew Friedman yesterday, and you made this point, too, which was, come on, this is boring.
Yeah.
It's more fun when you guys are losing. which takes us into the last category here, interaction of the month. I'm going to get mine out of the way because I know that yours is. It's going to take a minute, shockingly. Honestly, I didn't have like the funniest one. I did like when they went to San Diego a couple weeks ago. I was trying to wade into the rivalry story narrative waters. And I was trying to basically get guys to say like, well, it's good that the Padres have pushed us over the years and have kind of, taken us to the wire in the division and taken us to the brink of elimination in the playoffs. And a couple guys were more than happy to oblige to that narrative. But one player who will remain unnamed here, I lay this whole thing out. I'm like, well, what are your thoughts? And he just kind of looks at me and he sighs and he thinks for a minute. And he just goes, nope, not going to talk about this. Every time we talk about this, there's trouble. It stirs things up. So good try, but not going to happen. Which, was disappointing, but gave me one little line I could throw in there. This is how heated things are. One player refused to comment.
Yeah, so mine, I guess, right? I've been plugging my Japanese podcast, 50/50. You guys can watch that if you speak Japanese, or even if you don't, just because I think I'm very...
YouTube...
If you just want to watch me...
Audio dubs, which honestly makes it funnier.
So during this thing, I was talking about how I had recently watched a show on Netflix called, I believe it's called Straight to Hell, is the translation in English, and it's about a Japanese fortune teller. And so on this thing I was talking about, and basically this is like, she was a con artist. And so I was talking about how like I would like a new career. I'm inspired now to become a fortune teller. And
so the con artist resonated with you.
Yes. And
so we're clear.
So now on that video, I did say, if you send me money, I will read your fortune for you. Some of my viewers there did. I also want to extend this opportunity to you guys. I think you can send, I don't know if you can send.
Are you soliciting money from our audience?
Yeah, yes. I mean,
the con artist really resonated with you.
But anyway, that led to Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who is a viewer of 50/50.
Apparently.
Dropped by the other day and was like, hello, Mr. Fortune Teller. And that's how he greets you now. Hello, Mr. Fortune Teller.
Did he want a fortune?
I said, now, what I did tell him was, you know what? I have written in print that you are going to throw a no-hitter this year. And that will be life-changing for me when you do it, because I won't just be a fortune teller. I'll be a fortune teller who's right, And so I was telling him, you can change my life by throwing a no-hitter. He really let me down today, man. I thought today was going to be the day that I was going to be able to walk away from all of this and just become a fortune teller in Japan. I don't know what kind of character I'm going to go with there yet, but I'm really looking forward to this. So,
did you try to solicit money from him for his fortune?
Yeah, I told him that I charge proportionally to a person's income. I'm like Swedish, traffic tickets. Like in Sweden, like if you're a billionaire.
Taxer.
Yeah, I am, yes. So I told them for you, $10,000. And look what happened, man. He didn't pay for good fortune.
See,
and so
you've done this wrong because you already wrote a fortune out in public for him beforehand. So.
Well, but I also could send him good juju.
Oh, okay. So
right. It's a juju.
Him?
Yeah. Vladimir Shpunt.
Vladimir Shpunt.
But anyway, so if any of you guys want your fortune read, we can make this like a little thing. If ask me a question, send me, what do we need to know about the person? Age.
Don't make people put their age in YouTube comments.
Well, but like, I'm not gonna ask you for your name.
Here's what I would. Well, yeah, but it's on there.
No, but sometimes, like one of the people that asked me for my question, in the 50/50 thing, they sent me money. It's like AJAX424.
That's the guy that said you should be fired last week. What I suggested is if someone wants their fortune from Dylan, you put a comment in about why you should have your fortune read, and then we can pick one next week.
All right.
And you can
do that.
Read that. Yeah. Don't send him money, please. Please do not send. That would be the.
I mean, all the people that don't.
Dylan would be a real low point in anybody's life.
But here's the other way to look at this. All those people that say they don't want to read me anymore, this is how you can get me out of the business. Make me a successful, multinational, Multilingual fortune teller.
That's the way. Not just by not reading. Don't do that. Read us and get fortunes from Dylan. All right. On that note, Mr. Fortune Teller, let's review our predictions from this week and make some new ones. Every episode we do this. 3 points if you hit your prediction correctly. 1 point if you're directionally correct. -1 if you miss a point. Good news, Dylan. You finally hit a directionally correct one. Because you said Ohtani would have 2 home runs in the series. He only had 1. I will give you a point.
Right.
I said the Phillies were going to win the series. They did not. I could argue that they won a game. It's not directionally incorrect, but
I called you out on it last week, so you can't go there.
I will take the -1. I'm at 0 points now on the season. You're at 5. Congratulations. You want to make a prediction for this coming week before we get into trivia?
I think they're going to split. I mean, well, but that's the thing, though. It's like, what do you...
I mean, you got on me
Can I be-
in a series last week. It's too boring, so...
Yeah, no, I know. What else can we go with?
I'm going to say that there will be 40 total runs scored over the 4 games. I like the overs this week. Is that a high enough number?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. 10 runs a game feels kind of like a lot. Maybe 45, I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of runs. So
Okay, you know what? Okay, I got a good one. 4 games.
4 games in Arizona.
Can I call a Kyle Tucker home run?
Sure.
1 is enough?
He only has 4 this year.
Right. Okay.
That's enough
Kyle
for
Tucker
him.
home run.
Oh, look at you. So optimistic.
Yeah.
All right. You got a trivia question for me?
Are we doing that today? I don't have a trivia question.
Dude.
I don't know. I thought Ernest was coming up with these now.
All right. I have one for you. Do you want to play?
No, I don't want to play. Well, I can only miss them now.
Well, no. If you get it right, you get a point.
All right.
Trivia, 1 point if you get it right.
Okay.
-1 if you miss. So I can't go anywhere. I'm stuck at 0.
Okay. That's...
You can.
All right. Okay. I got a question for you.
Oh, okay. All right. You want to go?
You go first
before you forget it.
All right. So in the we tried to interview. I mean, we did interview Randy Wolf. I guess the footage went into the ether.
Behind the scenes.
But anyway,
maybe you'll see it. If not, it was a great interview.
He played for the 2009 Dodgers.
He did.
There was one of the things that kind of happened in that series, a big kind of point here for the Dodgers was Brett Myers, a pitcher for the Phillies, throws at Russell Martin, throws at Manny Ramirez. That day, Chad Billingsley does not retaliate. The very next game, it falls on Kuroda to retaliate. Kuroda throws at a Phillies hitter. Who was the Phillies hitter he threw at?
Was it like a big name Phillies hitter on that year's team?
Not a huge name, but it's like a recognizable name. Like, you'll know who I'm talking about.
Hey, Kuroda threw at somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And the funny thing about this is, so in Japan, there's really no, I think I've said this before, but they don't really do beanball stuff. And yet when Kuroda threw at him, not only did he throw at the guy, he started walking towards home plate as if he was going to fight the guy. He later told me...
Commit to the bit.
He later told me he was scared out of his mind.
Was he scared because of how physically imposing this player was?
In a way.
See, I want to say Ryan Howard, but that would be too big of a name. Jimmy Rollins wouldn't be as physically imposing. Yeah, you got me. What?
Shane Victorino.
Oh, yeah, he would be. That would have been a very fascinating fight.
Oh, Victorino KOs him for sure.
I don't know.
I don't think Kuroda's ever been in a fight in his life.
Less fascinating than Puig versus Mattingly.
Yeah.
Okay, and last year's NLDS, Roki Sasaki had 2 saves against the Phillies. And Dave Roberts' entire tenure, only 2 other pitchers have had multiple saves in a playoff series for the Dodgers. Can you name them?
Kenley Jansen?
Kenley Jansen's the easy one. I'll maybe give you like one missed guess.
Who else is like save stuff?
It does speak to the lack of closers that they've had post Kenley Jansen.
I don't know. It's not Julio Urias.
Is that a guess?
It is a guess.
It is not Julio, no. Good guess, though. That was one of the names I thought I could maybe trip you up with. When I say it, you're not going to be like you'll be like, oh, I should have got that.
Yamamoto?
No.
No, he only said one, yeah.
He pitched one game out of the bullpen last year.
I don't know.
Blake Trinan, 2020. Yes.
Yeah.
Closed out the Padres. All right, well, I'm glad we did that so we could just both lose a point. This does seem to tend to happen in this part of the show. So you're at 4 now. I'm at -1. Awesome. God, am I going to finish? I think I'm going to finish the year in the red.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be like negative.
Okay, thanks.
I don't know. Could you go to what's beyond red? Like, is there purple? Like, you're gonna be like negative
Not how
50.
numbers. What is? You think there's a third dimension on the number line? It's just positive or negative.
Yeah, no, it's like the what is it? The Homeland Security chart that the one where they make up so that they can harass you at the airport, where they change the colors all the time.
Yeah, no, I might, but
I got my Japanese colleagues there. I gotta go predict some fortunes now.
oh my God, I cannot believe people sent you money. What is it? How do they even send it?
You can send it through like YouTube. It's like a donation.
What, YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
YouTube's like part-time Venmo? Like what?
Yeah, I guess it goes
Wait,
into.
it's a donation?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, it is a donation because you're not getting anything for that money. I promise you. But we'll see. Kyle Tucker home run. If he hits one,